Alright, today we're going to be doing something a little bit different on the channel. I'm going to be giving a tour of my Pokopia house that I made for Cecilia Immergreen. I wanted to have a little project that I could just quickly pop out that would be sort of a fun thing to do, but I didn't realize how big this project was going to end up being. I wanted to just make the tune that she made in Minecraft a while ago, the ice cream song, and I thought it would be fun to make a roller coaster at the same time. It seems like in Pokopia, the best and most effective way to make music is on rails. In theory, what you can do is you can regularly control the speed of a coaster when you're on the coaster, as opposed to running, which is a little more squiggly wiggly. And so I've seen a lot of people online doing their songs off of coasters. And one thing I didn't really take into account when I was first designing this was that every time you have a turn or a rise or fall, that sort of throws off your velocity a bit. And so I found it a little bit difficult to get the tempo exactly right all the time. So some of the timings on this song are pretty off, but it was close enough, and I didn't really feel like doing any more effort than what it was. I was sort of surprised to see how far apart each of the notes needed to be to maintain the BPM of the song, whatever that is. If I had gone at a slower speed, it seems like the minecarts have like two speeds you can set to, a low speed and a high speed. And it'll hit some intermittent speeds if it's losing velocity. But really, when you press forward, you only have two options. You can go max speed or you can go half speed. If I had gone half speed, I think it would have been better, because then I wouldn't have had to have them so far apart. You can sort of see it's like, what, 6 to 8 blocks between each of them, depending on how long the note is, something like that. And that made the track feel really long when I was making it. Now, you can see the one Withered Wastelands, and this is the back of the map, so this is the top half. And I sort of covered this entire spot up so that I have enough flat space to work with. And I've done some nice things, like I've added a little pond here, and it goes down into a waterfall. I haven't completed everything down in the Withered Wastelands, so we're just going to ignore that. But making this nice big area was really good for making the roller coaster initially. Now it's the first thing that went in. And then after that, we worked with everything else we had. Now, the idea of this roller coaster was to sort of go in, and you're going to go into her house, and you're going to see the area that she has, or her overlay, which is supposed to be her house, mansion, ruins. I'm not even sure what it's supposed to be. Why she have so much ivy festooned everywhere, if it's supposed to be a livable space. But the house got pretty big in the end, which I'm okay with. I like to build big houses when I'm building in Minecraft or whatever, so this is up my alley. But the project ballooned a lot more than I thought it was going to. Anyway, the first stop on our tour today is going to be this train station. If we are going to have a roller coaster, or a train, I guess, is what this could be, we might as well have a train station. So here we have the ticket counter, and you can hop up here and talk to the person inside who's running the ticket booth. And we'll go inside now, and we'll see. It looks pretty nice, pretty standard, nothing to write home about. Pretty cute, I think. Got a printer, got the PC. There's all sorts of things you can put on these PCs. I really want to make a Windows XP background at some point, but that would be really hard to do. But just because it's hard to do doesn't mean it's impossible. It definitely would work. It would just be a lot of effort, and I'd have to find an appropriate spot to make the entire landscape. We do have a little attic up here, which is sort of fun. I will say one of the frustrating things about Pokopia is some of the rules that they have you follow. For example, these planks that we're on, they seem like perfectly fine roof tile, or like floor tiles. So you think, oh, I could put the ceiling fan on top of these. But no, because these things are like you have to be able to put things on top of them. Then the rule is for these guys that they occupy the whole block below them. So some things go on top of blocks, something goes underneath blocks. These guys go underneath blocks. And so that entire block underneath, you cannot put anything. So the same thing applies for these fluorescent lights. You cannot put them any higher, because if you try to put them higher, then they're going to intersect the slats of the planking, which is sort of annoying. You have to keep that in mind when you're building these things. We got a Fickafolk Charge Bug that lives here. He's not here right now, but we can call him with some honey. And it's sort of fun to have a charger bug at a train station, because it looks like a little bus. And he also has Ceci colors, so that makes a lot of sense to have him there. Over here, we've got a little picnic area. If you're waiting around for the train to arrive, you can hop off the platform, come down here, and you got your information booth over there. The bell is really fun because you can punch it. There's certain objects in this game that you can interact with like that, and you would never know. Now I looked up online and it said mailboxes in Germany are yellow, which is the default color for mailboxes in this game anyway. If you're German, you can let me know if that's true or not. So here we come in to the entrance. We've got our little music themed couch here. And it's sort of a nice entrance, but there's not much to go off of here. Coming into here, this is the main area that everything, of course, is based off of. If we assume that Ceci is sitting at her computer, so then we'll put the computer right here, and this is what you would see in the background. Something right about here is what you see. I think I did an okay job of recreating it. I wish I had more control over these chairs, because I don't really like how they came out, but that is as close as I could get to what she has shown. Got a little fireplace over here, sort of fun. I have some working piping. These pipes actually do lead to the outside. That didn't need to happen, but I thought it would be fun to do. Oh yeah, let's go over here real fast. We got a little half bath over here with all the trappings. Funny thing about light switches in this game, you can't really control what they turn on and off. So if you turn on the light with the light switch, it also turns on the faucet. So just one of those funny things. You can see it also turns on the rappel. So you get a little spray of whatever this is supposed to be. But we'll assume this is Febreze in this instance. Alright. Let's now head up the stairs to see what Ceci has hiding up on the second floor. So, no Ceci house would be complete without a room for her best friend Cecilia Immergreen. And so this room's whole concept is whimsy, because what is Cecilia Immergreen if not whimsy? I feel like this is sort of like a race car bed. It seems like the kind of person that would want a race car bed. And if you can have a slide in your bedroom, why wouldn't you? Over here we got a bulletin board with a cameo from a certain Reaper. And then when she's at Ceci's place, this is where Gigi would stream from if she were to stream. I also forgot to mention, here's the little cell phones they use to do their motion capture. Got the little Hololive logo. So that's fun. Sometimes you can go out the doors while you run through them and close them behind you. Sometimes you can't. Here's Gigi's bathroom. Now this would normally just be the guest room and the guest bathroom, but Gigi basically lives here. So the bathroom also evokes whimsy. I know in lots of places in Europe the bathtub and the toilet are separate, but Gigi comes from Frisia, so this is how she prefers it. Close that back up. You can look out the back here. Unfortunately, can't do anything about the yellow because that's the edge of the map. And here we've got the power station, circuit breaker room. Not much to look at in there. And now we'll look into Ceci's bedroom. Got a little entertaining area in the front here. And then in the back, we've got a bunch of Ditto plushies. Ditto is Ceci's favorite Pokemon.
Oh, so what is your favorite Pokemon type in Pokemon? My favorite Pokemon is Ditto! 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 Ditto's cheating? Ditto is not cheating. Did I say I like Ditto when he's transformed into every Pokemon? No, I like Ditto in his base form because it's cute, it looks like a chewing gum, and I want to punch it. So yeah, your eyes are inspired by Ditto. And your mouth a little bit. So there you know.
So I thought it only appropriate that she would have lots of Ditto plushies in her room. I'm a little bit surprised actually that she hasn't played the game yet. I'm sure she has her reasons. But with Ditto being the main character, and it is her favorite Pokemon, Maybe she just doesn't feel that strongly about Pokemon in general, and so she just said that it was her favorite. Maybe it is her favorite, but she just doesn't care too much about Pokemon. This is the bathroom. I'm really proud of this one. Like, out of all the rooms in this house, this is the one where I'd want to be most of the time. It's super comfy, super moody. You can get in the tub. It's very funny. I don't know why you transform it back into Ditto mode, but I guess that is what Ditto would look like when it relaxes. To just lose its shape. Yeah. A little fun. Oh yeah, another funny one here. I couldn't put anything on these countertops, and I was like, why can't I do that? And I didn't realize until later it's because I have the mirrors there, and these mirrors also occupy that entire block on top of the countertops, so you can't actually put anything there if you want a mirror there. Very funny. Alright, now we'll head up to the third floor. On the third floor, the first thing we've got here is a washroom or a laundry room. This bottom one is the washer, the top one is the dryer. They're both called washing machines in the game, but you know, there's front-loading dryers, so that works. Over here, we have Immerbot's server room. If you're gonna be a streamer, you gotta have good internet, and this is where the internet happens. And then, of course, right next door to Immerbot, we have Update Tilia's office. Update Tilia is always doing the hard work, and Ceci's always making sure she stays on task. Now, I really also like how this room came out. It seems really comfy, but at the same time, it's nothing but work. She even has a hammock here so she can sleep out at the office. That just seems like something that would be the life of Update Tilia. So now we're back on the ground floor. I'm gonna head into the dining room. Dining room looks pretty nice. I'm rather pleased with it. Now, whose theme could this be? You're gonna entertain? You gotta entertain your rival. And so this kitchen area is inspired by Ninomai Inanis. My next major build, of course, will be for Ina, because she is my Kamiyoshi. And so I couldn't resist the opportunity to build a kitchen based around her. And I thought it was only fitting. So because Ceci is somewhat bourgeois, I assume she'll have maids and a staff to wait on her. And so she will enjoy an industrial kitchen down in the basement. So we have to take the dumbwaiter to the basement, in which we will find the kitchen. The kitchen is a bit sparse compared to what I was hoping for, but it serves all the functions that you can in Pokopia. We've got microwaves here, got all the trappings that'll allow us to cook our various meals here. Got a couple different furnaces here. We're all equipped with fume hoods. Out here in the back, we've got the loading bay. Then in here, we have refrigeration and freezer. And in fact, we even have a walk-in freezer. The walk-in freezer is very cold, so we can keep all of our perishable goods in here, including some tea and some soda. Pretty pleased with how that turned out as well. And so far as our final stop on this tour, we're going to take a look out the backyard. So right off the kitchen, we have the patio. The patio is covered by the house, the bit of abutment here that has some of the living spaces. And we've got a nice little patio, some sparse furniture, but that's okay. You don't want to keep a patio cluttered because otherwise you won't have room to run around in. We'll head down the stairs, and speaking of running around, the first thing to look at here is this playground inspired by Herb. Now, we know that Ceci is an automaton, and she's lived for a very long time. So she knew Elizabeth when she was a child, and so she built this playground for her so that she could play and grow nice and strong. Over here, we've got a fire pit. What they need to give us in a future update, they need to give us marshmallows on sticks. And then we can have marshmallow parties, or s'more parties or whatever, right? Roast hot dogs, roast marshmallows, that kind of thing. I think that would be nice. We've got an Immergold garden here. And then finally, we've got a fountain to cap it all off. Very relaxing backyard. And overall, I'm pretty pleased with how this place turned out. Take one final look at it from a distance. Now we have a chimney up here. Got smoke coming out of it because I put in the one of these guys, one of the furnaces. One of the smoke doesn't render until you get very close. Sort of defeats the purpose, but it's sort of nice. Pretty pleased with how this one turned out. Took me basically a month to do it almost non-stop outside of work and whatever. But yeah, that'll be it for me today. I'll catch you guys next time.